Hi everybody, I'm Barney from Said With Love and welcome back to my channel. Just quickly before we get into my block 4 reveal, if you're liking these videos, please subscribe, like, hit the little bell notification if you want to get notified of when these come out. And let's get on to today. Barn Star Sampler month 4 reveal. So I hope you all had fun putting your block 4s together. Now, before we get to my block 4s, here are my block 3s, so month 3's blocks, the Carpenter Star. And I've got to say, I'm still loving them. This one, I think, is my favourite block so far. So I love the little owl in here, and I love purples and pinks. So it's always good to use your favourite colours in your quilts. Now, I've rearranged things a little bit in my filming studio, put up a few things that are available in my shop and that I love, and the few things that I'm using to store my blocks as the months are going past, because they are huge blocks. I haven't got room to put them on a design wall anywhere, so I'm just folding them up neatly and popping them in my very large Laurie Holt tin, and then all my little offcuts, you know, those things that we were talking about, the little HSTs, the little offcut corners from your flip and stitch. I'm popping them into the small tin of the Laurie Holt containers. So that's been really handy, and I'm loving my new little setup. It's kind of nice and cozy. So let's get to my month 4 reveal. Which one shall I show you first? I'll show you this one first. Okay, so this is my block, my first block for month 4. And I gotta say, I'm loving the dark purple and the graduated suited and booted fabric that sort of goes in towards the center, and I think there's some great contrast in this block, and I've been loving seeing everybody else's blocks with all the different fabrics that you use. Somebody commented on the Facebook group today that she's a reasonably new quilter, and she said, oh, I love seeing everybody's colors. It makes the blocks look so different, and that is so true. And that's why I love seeing everybody's blocks, because I look at things and go, gosh, I never would have thought to do that color with this, but man, it looks awesome. So it's always good for a bit of inspiration to check out everybody else's blocks. If you haven't joined our Facebook group for our sew-alongs and quilting fun, head on over to the comment section below, and I'll have a link to that. You just need to answer 3 little questions just to make sure that you're a quilter rather than some spammer or some weirdo guy that wants to connect to me. Yeah, right. Anyway, back to my blocks. So that's my first block for month 4. And this is my second block for month 4. And I used my favorite raccoon print. I think that print is just so cute. The little raccoons showing there. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like on screen, but there is quite a bit of contrast between this sort of reddy orange sort of print and my pink, but on screen it doesn't ever quite look that contrasty. But again, I've used the graduations of the suited and booted prints in the middle, and I love these blocks. So what I did, because I haven't got a design wall that's big enough to start putting things up for this quilt, because it is huge. I'm trying to remember, is it something like 80 inches by something? Yeah, it's a big quilt. So I ended up having to use my design bed, the guest bedroom, and I'll pop a picture of it for you so that you can have a look at how it's looking. But even that's not big enough. I'm going to have to use our king size bed, which means that I can only have it out for, you know, a couple of hours in the middle of the day. But first world problems, hey? I hope you're getting a chance to start putting your blocks out where you think they're going to go in the quilt. The way Shelley has laid out the quilt, you can swap where you're putting your 24-inch blocks and your 16-inch blocks and things like that. So if your colors sort of, you know, don't look quite right, laying them out exactly where, you know, month 1 and month 2, etc. is, you can swap month 1 and month 2 and get sort of a better sprinkle of colors. So that's what I did when I started to lay mine out, and started to also then see where perhaps I need to do perhaps a little bit more green or a little bit more pink or a little bit more purple so that I can get sort of a bit of a cohesive look to the quilt. And so that means I can then start to plan, well, what am I going to do for month 5 and month 6 and month 7? And especially when we get to some of these smaller blocks, you know, do I need to be doing all of those in greens or something like that? So maybe that will help you as well, perhaps to start laying out your quilt and getting a bit of a feel for where things are. And speaking of the excess blocks that we had from previous half square triangles and things from our other blocks, I did go ahead and start doing the whirligigs from block 18. And I just wanted to show you those. They turned out really well. These cute little pinwheel blocks, different colours. I sort of picked one of all the colours, so pinks and purples and the pinky reds and things. So they started to look quite good when I was laying out my quilt. So I just thought I'd share those with you as well. I think that's it about month 4. I loved the fact that it was a smaller block and I could just get it done quickly. And yeah, I still did make a bit of a boo-boo, but I fixed it very quickly, so that's all right. But I think from now on, the months are going to just get a little bit easier, and I'm always going to keep a bit of an eye out too to see whether I can perhaps use some of my sort of leftover cut over half square triangles, etc., from previous blocks in some of these smaller blocks coming up as well. But I think these next few months are going to go really quickly, and I hope you all have fun, and I better get starting with my fabric pulls for block 5. I'll talk to you soon.